My legs hurt. I spent too much time running around this city and I don't like elytras, which is why I'm going to build an insanely fast underground piston bolt subway. I can't wait. Let's sit back in Minecraft. Okay, so I'm just at the museum that we spent a lot of time building the other week there, and fun enough, the plot of land is right next to this museum, so yeah, it's another big building. This will take a while, hopefully not as long as that museum, but you know, I do like to get carried away with these things. I mean, even on the world map you can see just how big it is there. That's the plot of land and that's the museum, so yeah, another huge building. But yeah, this city is way too big for me to just keep running around, and yeah, we need a faster way to get around. So, following this video on screen, I created a small test for a very fast 80 blocks per second piston bolt, which is right here. It looks quite strange, we'll make sure it looks nice and pretty, but this is just a proof of concept, and yeah, it works quite well. All you do is put the minecart there, get in the minecart, and sadly it's too small, so I'm able to appreciate just how fast this is, but when I press the button, yeah, pretty fast. But yeah, I chose that plot of land because it's so central. We can have loads of routes coming off of this place, and it should be the transport issue solved. But you can see we've got this outline all the way around the plot, so we're going to spend some time removing that, and then we're going to shape this terrain nice and flat, maybe bring it down a few blocks as well. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, that took a lot longer than I thought. But yeah, you can see I cleared out a lot. I've cleared 10 blocks lower than... I've cleared 10 blocks lower than that street level. And yeah, this is a very good starting point. Now, the reason I spent so much time lowering this was because that side over there is where we're going to have to create our first sort of subway segment. And over here, I'm going to spend some more time lowering this part as well. But we're just going to ignore that for now. But it's a good starting point. But yeah, how I'm going to build this is we're going to start from the bottom and just work our way up. So we're going to do this lower part first, which is basically going to be trains going to the east side and maybe some north side as well, the northern trains. So these are going to be 2 tunnels there, and those tunnels are actually going to be decorative. The main redstone is going to be underneath it, and same with that tunnel there. But yeah, we're going to have this sort of lower part, and it's going to be very nice, the arches, and I can't wait to build it. And then we're going to focus on this part later on, and the remainder of this building. But for now, we're just going to spend some time detailing and doing up this part. But yeah, as you can see, I've got some andesite and some polished tough blocks, which should look pretty good. I'm also going to create some wall variants of these things as well. Yeah, what I'm thinking is we're going to have this main sort of island platform in the middle with stairs leading up to this ground floor, and I think it'd be easy if I just build it and show you. Okay, so you can kind of see the general shape for which I'm going for, and it's looking kind of cool so far. I've just got this nice trim of granite down the bottom and some brick in the middle and the same granite trim around the top. And I'm thinking we're going to have another tunnel that side. Not another tunnel that side's just going to be brick wall. And actually a lot of that empty space is just going to get covered up, so that's a shame that I dug all that out for nothing. We're just going to have one going in that direction, and then we'll just say that the train is multi-directional, but that will take us to the northern harbour, and this will take us to the east end. That will probably be towards the east end, and then this will be coming back from the east end. But I'm going to try and continue this sort of shape where it comes up in a nice sort of domed look. Again, this I think is planned out pretty perfectly. We've got just enough room to have a nice ceiling and still have some floor upstairs. So yeah, I'm just going to keep building, and yeah, it's turning out so far it's turning out okay. Okay, I've been hard at work. As you can see, I've sort of spent some time burying this back in the ground because I don't really like leaving all these sort of gaps in between the buildings and edges. But if we jump down, take a look at this. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, I think. It looks just like what a Victorian subway would look like. Only it's too clean, way too clean. So I'm just going to go around here and remove some of this granite, the polished granite rather, and then replace it with this regular granite. And already, I mean, that's just made it look so much more worn and torn, like it should, you know. I'm going to get some stair variants, and then I'm not sure what we're going to do with the bricks, because you don't have any cracked, just regular bricks, which is something that should get added, I think, just for some extra detail. But that's what I'm going to spend some time doing, and once we get that, we can then start working on up here, because we're only going to focus on connecting the east end and probably some potentially extending this for the North Harbour, and we're also going to have to make a station in the east end as well. But yeah, I'm just going to continue working away down here, and it should look pretty good once I'm done. Okay, this is looking pretty cool so far. I replaced the stone with some tough bricks, and I think that's made all the difference. It looks quite grimy and matches these colours as well. But I've added the lights and this pipe as well, which I think turned out really quite nice. I've not done anything like this with lightning rods before, and it looks quite good. It just sort of ends here, but it works quite well, I feel. And then of course I finished these ceilings and messed them up quite a bit. Again, I think this little downstairs part looks very cool. We're not going to spend some time working on these tunnels just now, we're going to be working on them later, but this main sort of station part I think looks very good. So yeah, happy with that. We're going to work in the stairwell and get up to ground level. Okay, so I've raised the stairs up to surface level, they're looking not too bad, and I think it's now time to start working on the rest of the building. But if we go down here, I've done quite a bit of work, just some detailing things. I've added these curved pieces here just by angling the stairs. I think they looked really quite nice, especially on that wall there. It's just something more detailed than just this boring sort of shape in the wall. But yeah, you can see that I added the rails in. I've also added this third rail. This is called a live rail, which is used in underground subway to transport the power, but I like trying to keep it realistic, so that's why I've got that in there. And yeah, all the tracks are in. I think this whole underground subway looking space is pretty nice, I feel. I think it's turned out quite well. But yeah, what we're going to do first is I'm going to spend some time putting up some scaffolding, which is something I've learned from that building there. It's a pain having to parkour around the building, so I'm just going to have loads of scaffolding. As you can see, I spent some time just crafting quite a lot. So yeah, we're going to put some scaffolding around here, and yeah, then we'll start working on the main building. Okay, as you can see, I've put up the scaffolding, and I must say, this looks very impressive with the scaffolding. It really shows you just how big this plot of land is. As you can see, I also turned on the day counter up the top left, because I got a comment about it the other day, and I forgot that you could turn it on. So yeah, it's just going to be on now at the top left of the video. You can see how long it takes me to do these things. But I want to step away from here for right now. I want to work on the East End subway. And if you watch the world tour, you know exactly which building I hate down here. I made it when bamboo first came out. You can see it come into view, and it was never a nice looking building. But I just kind of left it because why not? However, now I think I'm going to change it because a change is long overdue in this part of town. And I'm thinking we could turn this into our subway. So you'd open up these doors and keep this sort of walkway path in the middle, and then maybe staircase coming down here and here. This was where I used my vine farm, where I'd harvest vines, but I don't really need vines anymore, and I've got enough of them. So we're going to spend some time working here. I'm thinking about a mud sort of building, but for now we're just going to completely clear out the inside, shear away all these vines. I don't have shears on me, but we're going to get away all the vines and just open up this space and see how much room that we've got to play with. So I've just wrapped this building in scaffolding and cleared out the inside as well. I'm going to keep the general shape because I do think the shape of it actually looks not too bad. It's just the blocks it's made out of that just makes it look quite bad. In here I've got a lot of these brown blocks, some spruce wood, and we've got some more mud just in case I need more, which I most likely will. But I'm just going to spend some time just replacing all of the blocks here with these new blocks, and it should hopefully start to look pretty good almost instantly. Yeah, I mean, just already it looks so much better. So we're just going to replace all the blocks with these three combination of blocks. I think I'll keep the glass just regular glass, but at this moment in time I'm not too fussed at changing it. So yeah, so I'm just going to spend some more time just replacing all the blocks, and yeah, already this is going to be a much better looking building. Okay, this is looking much better than that bamboo building we had before. And inside, it's ready to just start digging down, and we'll create that subway station. It still has both entrances, so I can access it from my base directly, and it'll make traveling so much better. I mean, this is such a perfect place for a subway. There's still some dead space in about these parts here, but I'm not too sure what we're going to put in there, but it can just be empty for now. They don't need to be filled. But because it's going to be a lot of back and forth, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start work on the underground transport element of the subway. So that's going to involve digging a massive tunnel underneath the ground from that subway all the way to that brand new subway as well. So a lot of digging and a lot of redstone as well. And like I've said before, these main tunnels are just decorative, so the main redstone is actually going to be underneath, and because of the dimensions and the size of these piston bolts, it's going to be completely fine to have it this 4 wide space, and we just continue this sort of 4x4 tunnel all the way to the east end. And I think I'm going to lower it down to Y50 just so we make sure we don't run into anything and cause trouble later on down the line. Okay, and with that, that's the entire tunnel dug out. I must say that took a fair little while, but that's only one tunnel dug out, because bear in mind, it can only go one direction, so this is the tunnel going this way. We also need to make a second tunnel that goes back the way. But using a lot of the excess material, you can even see this old project that I'd started for a sewer system, which I'm just going to block up for now. It's unfortunate that it's in the same wire level as the sewers, but we can always change that later on. And I'm just going to block this off just now, just so we've got a nice clean tunnel the entire length. Okay, looking good. And this part over here was quite easy, because this is actually my stone mine. This is where I used to go to get a lot of stone, and now from just clearing out big mountains and all that for the city's expansion, I just do it from over there. But you can see this huge plain in which I've just removed stone. You can see that's my ladder going down to my base, and over this way is another stairwell which leads up to another building. It's quite cool. I like having sort of things like this where you just kind of forget about it, because I completely forgot that I'd done this entire part, and it takes you into this building here, which is looking over the church and the mat room and the park. But yeah, this tunnel is pretty much underneath the East End subway station, so all I'm going to do is start building the actual transport mechanism, the piston bolt itself, and we'll see how far I can get along with the blocks which I have. But yeah, at least in one direction it'll be nice and fast. So yeah, that'll take a while. It's not the easiest thing to build, and it's quite repetitive, so I'm not looking forward to it, but it's got to be done. Okay, quick problem. We have ran out of slime blocks, and that is a major component for this build. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try and create a slime farm, just a basic one, just to get me enough slime blocks, but this is halfway completed, and it's already pretty insanely fast. If you take a look at the coordinates, you can see just how fast this really is. Yeah, pretty quick, but for now, I'm just going to go all the way down to deep slate layer and create a very, very basic slime farm, and just look up where the slime chunks are, and yeah, hopefully get enough slime balls. So you're going to see me do that. It will take a while. This project has taken a long time, but let's go do it. Okay, that took a very, very long time to get enough slime balls. I ended up making a second slime farm in a slime chunk right next to the subway, or right underneath it even. And when we go down, hopefully the slime's there. It took a long time for them to spawn. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but they just weren't spawning. And yeah, you can see they're still not spawning. They just, oh, one did, there we go. That's what it was like the entire time. It took as you can see by the day counter, I started this slime harvest, I think around 15 Minecraft days ago. I mean, it took a very long time, but I'm happy to say that that's now one way completed. We'll walk in the other direction later on because that's going to take another long time. But for now, when we take out the zombie, down the stair we go, and yeah, it's a very long contraption. Again, if you watch my coordinates, you'll notice just how far this takes me. It's stupidly fast, this machine, and it takes me right underneath the East End subway, so I think we're going to work on that next week. Okay, I've been quite busy. It's not complete, but this whole segment going eastbound, I'd say is pretty good. I still need to detail this part, make it look nice, but I'm using a very, very old glitch in the game where you can actually click through this part of the stairs. So I'm using that to my advantage, where I've put a minecart dispenser, and when I press this button, I have to press there, and look at this. It sends me down to the subway, and then get pushed along, and just like that, we've travelled over 200 blocks into the East End. So this is the East End subway. It looks very similar to the other one. Only the problem here was the ceiling needs to be quite low because of the terrain upstairs. But oh, this is going to be the new entrance. I forgot I've not built that yet. But when we go through this little, I'll break the minecart first as well. But when we go through this door here, it takes us to the stairwell. Of course, I'm going to move it so it's going over that side, and this just takes us back out in the East End, which I mean it's pretty great. I mean, I cannot wait to get both directions working complete, and so that way I can just travel between both parts of the city insanely quickly. And yeah, this is quite a run back as well, so this is going to save a lot of time in the future. But yeah, this has taken a very long time to build, and whilst we're here we'll jump down to the slime farm and see if anything spawned. Probably not, because things have just not been spawning, like slimes have just not been spawning in, and it's not been very good. So that's what's been taking so long to build this thing, and yeah, look, completely empty. But yeah, behind the dispenser I'm going to put a hopper, just feeding it full of minecarts, which I can occasionally stack up. But this is just so much fun, just to ride back and forth. I mean, it's so insanely quick. You only have to look at the coordinates to see just how fast we're going, and it just takes you back up here to the East End. But yeah, I'm just going to keep building and keep working away on this East End subway, and then connect it up to the upstairs part, and we'll work on the main sort of subway building. Okay, I'm back at the city centre, and a lot of progress has been made. As you can see, I've darkened these tunnel edges and it looks a lot better. If we quickly take the subway to the East End, I love this machine by the way, it's so much fun just to go along. And then from the piston bolt back up to the East End. And right now I've not spent a lot of time, I'm just going to break it and it goes into a hopper, which at some point we'll fix and let it go and refill this sort of dispenser on this side, but we still need to do all that. But that's for another day. And when we run out of here, it's a very nice subway, I'd say. It takes you out at the subway station. So that cut down what would ordinarily be maybe minute run along the city into like a 10-second subway journey. And of course this subway station does look pretty nice. I've got the lights in, I've got this pipe as well, which actually goes through, you can see, I think that's just quite a cool detail. I'm very happy with this so far. And I think what's next is we won't work on the back direction just yet. We might do that in another video, but at this point I'm going to spend some time working the outside of the station up there, because it's time we show a bit of love up that end. Now I don't even know if the building is going to stay this big, because this is a very big building for a subway. I mean, it's going to be kind of like a train station, but an underground train station. It's just going to be quite strange, but we'll do this corner right now. We're going to spend a lot of time on this sort of segment and get a nice interior for this part, and then we'll see what we do with over there. We are going to still have another subway station at that side going to the West End, which isn't even built yet, but for now we're just going to work on this part of the building. Okay, a lot of progress has been made. As you can see, I've got a general theme for the building. It's heavily inspired by the Victoria Station in London, and you can't really tell because of the scaffolding, but from the inside you can definitely see the colour theme in which I'm going for. I'm going to work on these side bits as well. I'm just not too sure how I'm going to play with them, but from back here it looks pretty good. From the front it also looks pretty good. We need to put some windows in. I've just been spending a lot of time doing these bay windows up at the top, or doing these dormer windows up at the top. That one looks a bit strange because of the angle that it's on, but this one turned out pretty decent, I'd say. Also made this roof just out of deep slate, just on its side. I think that looks pretty good, I'd say. And when you get to the very top, it's just a completely flat roof, which is fine with me. Yeah, this building is taking a lot of materials, and I'm still, like I said, I'm not sure what to do with these side parts. There's a bit of me that wants to just have it where it's just, this is the building, and then we'll have a different building here and a different building around the other side. But there's also a part of me that thinks it could go around this side and look pretty nice, but I think for now I'm just going to leave it here, get all the windows in, and spend a bit more time working on the roof and try and get some kind of interior. Okay, so all the windows are in, they're looking pretty nice. I also spent a bit of time working on the interior. You can see the general theme in which I'm going in here. Just repeating the same sort of tiled pattern and these nice diorite walls. It extends further on back there because we're going to have a lot of subways going into the West End, because there's going to be I've got a vision in my head, and it's hard to explain it's hard to explain until it's done. So yeah, then this is just going to be to the East End and to the Northern Harbour, but for now it's only to the East End, and we can work on that later video, and then we'll work on the return on another video as well, because this is taking a long time just to build this. And you can see the day counter. I mean, we're approaching, I have no idea, probably 100 days, something like that. A lot of time has been spent on this build, but yeah, it's looking pretty good. I've also had a thought on the sides. I'm going to leave these corner pieces, and further on I'm just going to have another sort of set of buildings here, and as well as that we're also going to have an entrance into the subway from here, and then it's the same on the side as well. We're going to have another set of buildings and a nice curved building there as well, and just more buildings going up this side of the hill. But yeah, it's pretty cool looking, I must say. From over here, once the scaffolding's gone you'll be able to appreciate it more, but from here it looks quite good, I'd say. But yeah, I've run out of diorite. I'm going to quickly nip back to the East End to get some more and just continue building. Okay, after 100 days I'd like to say that's the building complete. It does look pretty good, I'd say. Now I will also point out that these edges are not completed. I'm not sure what we're going to do here. I did say about having different buildings here, but I think it would look quite nice having that brick curve continued alongside, and I think that's what we're going to maybe do next video, and it's going to be the same in that side as well. But for now we're just going to leave it as is. I think the next video is going to be a lot of tidying up loose ends, such as these parts. There's a few things over that side as well I want to do. It's going to be important and a good video hopefully. But when we enter through the main entrance, we'll met with this ticket booth, which I think looks very nice. Again, these are inspired by the ticket booths inside of Glasgow Central. And yeah, I missed an iron bar. That's unfortunate. But I must say that these look very nice. To see these sort of curved wooden parts, I think look really good, really quite good. And we go up this walkway, it takes us out to this side, facing the Villagers Trading Hall and Iron Farm. And we run back through this tunnel. We're met with another tunnel on the other side, which just takes us out to the road facing the museum. When we get time to expand for the West End, we're going to lower this part here, have a big staircase, probably 2 staircases going down and meeting in the middle, which is then going to take us to the subway to go west. But we go around here and down these stairs. This takes us to the subways for going to the east side and soon to be the north side. Now this only works one way for now because a lot of slime blocks were required, and I'm thinking as well next video we'll maybe make a proper slime farm because we're going to need a lot of them. But what I can do is I can press this button, jump in the minecart, and it just automatically sends us down. And yeah, this is not sped up, this is as fast as it goes. You might have saw as well there was some barrels where a lot of materials for digging out the tunnels, because I have dug out both tunnels, only one's got the piston bolt in it. But I have dug out both tunnels and a lot of materials are stored down there. I've also got a hopper system which is backed up, and I've just been sticking the excess minecarts in here. You can see just how many minecarts I've used and just how many times I've used this system. But this subway looks very nice as well, and when we run up it takes us out up here in the East End subway station, which just turned out very nice. I mean, what a nice combination of blocks, and much nicer than the bamboo build that was once there. And of course it takes you back to the base, which I can just press this button and then in we go. But what a good build, and I'm very happy to have that completed, because again, that took a long time. That's why I want a break from the big build. I'm just going to do some little things that need done here and there. But it will look great once we get these sides in and get a slime farm and continue getting both directions complete. But thanks very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. A lot of time was spent into this, as you can see in the day counter, and I'd say this is one of the best builds in this town. What a useful, and I'd say it looks very good as well, build. So what more can you ask? Anyway, if you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, everything. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.